Thank you for tuning in to Conversations with D. I have my special guest, Mr. Terron Brooks, actor, singer, and life coach and motivational speaker, jack of all trades, pretty much. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, and thank you for coming.
Glad to be here.
So I'm going to get started. Congratulations on your latest release tomorrow.
Thank you.
Lovely imagery in the video, and I actually have it. I would like people to look at it, just a little snippet, because they'll get us. I'll get in trouble if I play the whole song.
I know I'll get in trouble with my song.
So I'm not gonna get us in trouble. It's only a snippet, everybody. So here it is right now.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. When I'm stuck with the day that's gray and lonely, I just stick up my chin and grin and say, the sun will come out tomorrow. Gotta hang on until.
Okay, I gotta stop it, y'all, because they will get us. So, so I want to talk about that. So, okay. Congratulations on the 1 million views as of July 9th. That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty unbelievable, but awesome. Yeah, thank you.
So I noticed in the video, I see people with masks. Does that have something to do with the whole COVID-19 and the fact, everybody's going through things? Did you use that as your motivation to?
Yeah, it seemed to be like a perfect time to kind of say like we're coming out of something. So the first half of the video is kind of, desolate and dark and everyone's masked. And then the end of the video, when the music changes, you'll see people taking the masks off, coming out into the sun. Although, now we're still in a holding pattern. We really don't know what the future is holding, but the song is alluding to a brighter future, hope. And so, yeah, there's two halves of the video kind of showing our past and how we're trying to walk into the future. Yeah.
And I noticed that I was like, wow, it's so deep. So also you have some tours coming up. So the whole Soul of Broadway, Impossible Dream. So first date is August 5th. And I want y'all to check that out. So I'm going to show that for everybody so y'all can check that out. Okay. Hold on a second. My screen. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So everybody, when you go to terronbrooksofficial.com, you will be able to see when you click on the Soul of Broadway. The dates. Click on dates, and you will see August 5th, October 30th, January 28th, January 29th, and January 30th. And your first one, you're actually going to be in New Jersey, and that's awesome. Opening the Union County's Mayor's Concert Series. So that's awesome.
Also, I mean, the next week is In Vogue, so I'm happy to be on the same bill as In Vogue. So,
wow.
I actually know one of the lead singers, Rona Bennett. So yeah, it's gonna be cool. My first show is actually this weekend. I'm going on a cruise, celebrity cruise, the Equinox, to do the Soul of Broadway. So that'll be the first time since 2019 that I had been able to do the show for people. So that's exciting. So that show in New Jersey will be the first Performing Arts Center show, but the first show with people is going to be next week on the Celebrity Cruise. So that's going to be cool.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And so you're also releasing a single off your forthcoming album The Soul of Broadway, Something's Coming from West Side Story. So look out for that, guys, like in a couple of weeks.
August 6th.
Yes.
August 6th. It's called Something's Coming from West Side Story. Yep.
And so, of course, you've been doing this for a long, long time. So my first question is, did you attend a performing arts school?
I did. I went to the Orange County High School of the Arts. I live in Los Angeles, but in Orange County, California, Southern California. And actually, that was probably what really kind of steered me into the direction of having a career, because I think I liked singing, but I did that I would be doing this for a living. I didn't have the ambition to say I'm going to be a singer or performer for a living. So from going from just a singer at church, or whatever, to a performing arts high school with other performers and teachers and real training with acting and musical theater, dancing and singing, coming that together, it just kind of opened the door for more possibilities for me. So I do attribute a lot of that to that time where I could say, oh, I enjoy this and I'm getting the skills and the tools to really, get better at it.
So how did that get you to the audition for Eddie Kendricks and Temptations miniseries?
Yeah, that was years after. I graduated from high school. I went to USC for a couple years for music education. And then I did some musical theater shows. I did some TV, but nothing to prepare me to answer your question. I wasn't at that level in my mind to secure the lead in this miniseries. I went down there like every black man.
Your screen paused.
Who heard it, but let me meet everybody, and that's kind of what the Impossible Dreams is all about. That really showed me that, anything could happen, So I think the prepared part was just for me, not having a lot of acting experience. The performing part, I had done that a lot. So I was ready to sing and dance and do all that. And I think that was the added help during the Temptations process, because those parts of the aspects of the filming weren't as anxious for me, because I knew about the stage and singing and performing. So I do think that prepared me, the years before that, to step in there. You tell me to sing, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to think about, the audition, this or this or that. So I do think that those years prepared me for, obviously, the biggest thing in my life,
So how many callbacks did it take?
Oh God, 7 or 8, many.
Really?
Yeah, because I auditioned for Paul first, and then they switched it to Eddie. Mm-hmm. And then once I was kind of picked from the director and the producers, I still had to go in front of NBC. So that's the process for people to know. You can get picked, but then there's like producers, and you go, and everybody has to agree. So it took a little while for that to happen, especially because I was new. But gosh, I think that Alan Arkish, I think he really the director was rooting for me. So it was awesome.
And you did a phenomenal job. Definitely in the movie, I was like, oh my God, I like this movie. And that was your real voice singing.
Yeah, 93%. I think Eddie Kendricks, he sings on Paradise, song Paradise. And the first time you hear The Way You Do the Things You Do, that's Eddie's voice. But all the other singing, yeah.
Get ready. That was you. I know that was your voice. I was like, that's his voice. I recognize the voice. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, very fortunate. Very fortunate. Yeah.
So how was that? In terms of being able to use your voice in the movie?
Well, as a singer, I can't imagine. I can't speak for the other guys, because we all auditioned for the part and then we had to audition to sing. So the singing was not a prerequisite to get the role per se, because they had people who some of the other guys lip synced. But as a singer, it was an honor to be able to not have to lip sync and knowing or wanting the chance to show that I could do it. So huge honor, and people have been very complimentary. Some people didn't know it was me or thought it was Eddie Kendricks or so yeah, very very proud to be able to do both.
Yeah, because like when I heard, I was like, that's him singing. I know that's him. And then because I've heard, the late Eddie Kendricks sing too. I'm like, okay, it's very similar. But when you get the whole the thing that he does, the falsetto, I was like, okay, I know I can see who it is. And it was just like, wow. So what did you do to channel him? Was that hard?
No. I think for me, I knew that I wasn't going to do, I say this all the time, I wasn't going to do an imitation of someone. So channel, I guess, is probably more embody. I wanted to find out his character, and it seems similar. We had the similar, I think it's all about casting. So Eddie Kendricks was not a stretch for me to play. I think they found a person that had similar qualities. And I think I tapped into what those qualities were that I wanted to bring out, as well as the singing and the posture. Eddie had a certain like swagger about him. So I did want to tap in. We watched a lot of videos and stuff like that. But yeah, it was more. I don't know if channel's a word. Spiritual. Yeah, more honor. Want to show him honor. Want to show people the man, and if I could embody that, that's the word, then I think I would do the better job than an imitation. So that's what I tried to do, but I really have to say the casting, Jackie Brown, the casting, that they took a chance on me instead of stacking it maybe with just star after star after star, I think people could receive these guys and we've been received all over the world in a different way, because you don't have to get past, well, who is that guy? Oh, that's the guy from this and this. You can just really kind of pay attention to the story. So I'm happy that worked out. But yeah, more of an embodiment. And we had Otis on the set. He had his book. I met Smokey Robinson, so there were people there. There were people there that knew Eddie Kendricks. Smokey Robinson called me the ghost of his friend when I met him, and that was like, oh my gosh,
wow.
Overwhelming and amazing. So we had all the resources that we needed to do the job, and we knew we had to. We knew with the Temptations and their precision and the Emperors of Soul, we could not just okey doke this whole thing. We had to step up to the plate, and I think every actor and every actor, not just the five of us, committed ourselves to bringing this incredible story to everybody. So,
and I remember, like in a movie, like I don't know if somebody, other people remember this, but the scene where Melvin, he went in the kitchen. I'm like, what happened? I was shocked. I'm like, and they just zoomed to the funeral. I'm like, we didn't know what happened. What happened to him? Everybody, that was like the biggest question around the world. Like, what happened?
Well, because, I don't want to ruin it for people, but it's a movie. So everything in the movie didn't actually happen. 100 people were upset about that. And I can totally understand that. Like, the movie probably could have ran 8 hours. There's so much. I shot a scene when Eddie died of lung cancer, so they didn't use that. So yes, Melvin did not die in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it's kind of mum's the word. People, it's just this mystery. It's not necessarily mystery on how he died. You know that he had the arthritis in his leg, taking those injections. Without the authority of his doctor, because he wanted to perform, in any movie, and I hate to ruin that for anybody, there's always a creative license of how they're doing a movie and how they're going to portray it for time's sake, for just different things. But I'm with everybody. When you're telling a true story, you're like, that didn't if you know the person, or and that didn't happen, it kind of rubs people the wrong way. But that's pretty much known. Hey, things like this happen,
Yeah. So then we get into All About You. So you worked with an all-star cast. I mean, Miss Debbie Allen. I mean, you worked with the great director Christine Swanson and her producer husband. And oh my God, like so for y'all who don't know, she did the Clark Sisters miniseries, and that was phenomenal. And then the beautiful, lovely, talented Renee Elise Goldsberry, who's on Hamilton. And you may know her as Evangeline from GH. That's General Hospitals for everybody who don't know.
One Life to Live. One Life to Live.
One Life to Live. Ooh,
yeah.
One Life to Live. You know, they segue together. So yeah.
Oh yeah. They do.
Like, oh my God. Cause I remember seeing like her character, but yeah. So One Life to Live. And so you all got to work on not only the film, but work on the soundtrack.
Yeah, we did.
How was that?
Well, we had another composer early on in the film, and then there's something happened with him, and he didn't continue on. So we were already cast, and Renee's an accomplished musician, writer, and I'm a songwriter as well. So it was really like an amazing chance to not just be in the movie, but write. We knew the characters, we knew what needed to be said. So we wrote the theme song. Renee had some songs that she had wrote. She wrote that end song. If you're an All About You fan, when I'm singing to her at the end, she wrote that. I'm singing to her, but she wrote it. And then I wrote a couple songs that I'm singing in the film. So, you know, you never get that opportunity to star in a movie, write music, and the soundtrack is beloved by people. And it was really special to see Black people, a Black couple in that kind of way, that romantic way that was still kind of aspirational and what's the right word? Just like throwback, you know what I mean?
Old school love.
Yeah.
Nostalgic.
That's kind of what Christine was going for. She's brilliant. So I talked to her today. Yeah. She's a good friend of mine. Renee was a good friend of mine, which was incredible because it's like you're in love with your sister, you know, like thank God we had chemistry and we pulled it off. But most people don't know that we were good friends before that. So proud of her and all the things that she's done. But yeah, so I was going to do Jesus Christ Superstar on Broadway. I was leaving.
Wow.
And Renee had gotten the part, and they were looking for the male lead. And I won't mention the actors, but there was singers. There were some famous singers they really wanted.
Wow.
They were going after. And so Renee suggested me. I came to the audition, and then I happened to have a show in Los Angeles where Renee sings with me, like background and sings. So Christine and Michael come to the show, and they see us together, which is completely rare to have that happen. And another great opportunity. They were like, I know Terron's not a star, but we can see that he can do this, you know? So I decided to do that instead of going to Broadway, and I ended up going on Broadway, but it was great. I'm always looking for special things, you know, working with Ricky Minor, you know, American Idol. And,
yes.
He's amazing music director. So there was a lot of, it just seemed like an opportunity I didn't want to pass up. Yeah.
Well, I like the movie. It comes on like all the time on TV One. I enjoy it. And like, it was just, I was like, wow, this is cool. The chemistry and everything. And you definitely have stage presence. And like, I definitely did not know, like, so I had been seeing, you know, the character Evangeline all the time on One Life. And never did I know that. I think she did have a role where she did sing on there too. And I'm like, wow. And I never would have known until like I went and actually looked at the soundtrack. And then I went to this one page, I think it was All Music, where they tell you information and, you know, you can research those things. That's why I tell people, like, always research. And so I was like, wow, she's phenomenal. And then when I noticed that she was on Hamilton, I'm like, you know what? I get it. Yes.
They sing.
Perfect sense.
And All About You, she wasn't supposed to be a singer, but she sings, you know.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So in terms of Broadway and, you know, small screen, which one do you love the most, or do you love them equally the same?
Well, they're two different experiences. I'm a live performer. I'm a live singer. You know what I mean? I don't think I'll ever contribute that electricity, what you get from that, the people are part of the whole production. Every night the energy is different, and the process of doing film is a little bit more meticulous. You have to hit your mark, the kind of things. So I like them both for different reasons. I'm very, very fortunate to be able to do not just one thing, so I'm not bored with one thing, to help me not have to make a certain decision on, well, I just do this. So it's a very good thing for me to be able to jump from project to project or think creatively, because it's a lot of fun. But the live thing is you can't beat that.
So is there a dream role that you have in mind for yourself down the line, if any?
Well, the truth is that the dream role would be an original. If I could originate a role on Broadway that had never been done before, that's the dream, to not play a part that has been played before. What that would be, I don't know. But to answer your question honestly, that's the dream for me now, having been able to accomplish a little this and a little that. People ask me all the time, well, when are you going to do another movie, or when are you going to do another Broadway show? Or when, my life doesn't really work like that. It's just all inspiration. It's just like what's in front of me. Music is always number one. I'm a writer. But if I go back to Broadway, I would love it to be something completely original, like made for me. That's the dream, As far as on screen, I don't know. I mean, I would love to play Sam Cooke, but maybe I'm getting too old.
No, not necessarily. No.
And, my buddy Leslie Odom Jr. did a phenomenal job. But yeah, I wouldn't mind playing another famous person.
I could see a couple of them, like Marvin Gaye.
What's
the other one? Otis Redding. I'm trying to think who else. That's all. I'll come up with some in a minute. Yeah. So what are your whys for doing what you do?
The biggest why that comes to me first is responsibility. I think my gift is from God. So I've always felt a responsibility when you're given something that's not just about you. It's like you're given a gift. Imagine me giving you a present and you don't open it. You know what I mean? Or you don't use it. You know what I mean? So I feel one of my biggest whys is like, wow, I mean, I have this extraordinary gift. I don't say that in a way that says that I'm so extraordinary, that I'm so good, but I appreciate what I've been given, and I work really hard to honor that gift, honor the giver of the gift, and make sure that people that I can point to that, like I can say, hey, if you heard anything great, or if you love what I'm doing, that's a gift that I've received that you get to receive. And so that's my biggest why, my biggest reason. And that has kept me from quitting, right? That has kept me from not giving up, from keep going, because I go, wow, this is bigger than me not getting this job or disappointing it's bigger than that, So it keeps me humble and grateful, knowing, how many people would love to do, anything that I've done, one thing, and of course there's more to attain, but that's one of my whys. I also want to show my kids that you pursue something you love, I want to say it's right. I work really, really hard, but I've chosen something that I love that's not work, if that makes sense. So when I wake up in the morning and I have to go to work, I'm like, yeah, there's stresses there. There's dedication. There's things that I have to do, but I've chosen something that I love. So it doesn't feel, and with that, let me say, comes all of the other things with it. You may not get all the pay you want. You may not be rich and famous. You may have to sacrifice. You may, so there's a challenge when I'm saying that, everybody. It's not like, ooh, just do what you want. But I think my life is richer. I think I'm a better father, person, because, the sacrifices that parents make and they're regretting it and they're bitter, that rolls on to their kids. Or if they want to make their kids everything they didn't do, I'm not doing that here. So I want to show my kids that their sacrifice, your dad has sacrificed, but he loves what he does. He's chosen something and he's taken those risks to go after it, you know, and that's the best way I could probably tell them that is showing them that.
Amen. And so what's the best advice that anyone has given you? I'm sure you've received so much advice from people. What's the best advice that someone's given you?
Wow. Well, a spiritual thing is, you know, put God first. You know what I mean? You
Amen.
You know, you prioritize, like, put him first. Like, but something maybe a little bit more practical is just be yourself. The more you love yourself and accept yourself and know that you're different and special, that special, unique thing is the star, is the thing people are after. And when you suppress that to be what you think somebody wants, you're gambling, because you might make it and then you're fraudulent when you can't hold up to that, chasing that thing that you presented that's not you. But it's always great to me to know that I'm received from being myself, knowing that I might be dejected or rejected for people that I'm not for them. That's fine to me, because I can just kind of see where I am. But so that advice has really, you know, I think when you're younger, it's kind of hard to hear that because you don't know who you are. But you know, eventually you just start loving yourself and trying to find the people who love you too. You know,
Amen.
And it doesn't have to be millions of followers. You can find people who really identify for what you do, flaws and all, you know, whatever that is, as we continue to grow. I think that's just the strongest advice, because I really do believe that God has made us special on purpose, and we end up carbon copying ourselves because we want success so bad that we miss the road that was paved just for us.
Amen. And so on your, like, on live, if you guys ever get a chance to check him out on IG Live, he's always on and he's always talking about like very inspirational, purposeful things. And so check out Honest Answers with Terron Brooks. And that's his podcast. And like literally you'll hear a lot of insightful things and also great guests. I mean, you had Melinda Doolittle from American Idol. You had I'm so sorry. Okay, you had her. You also had Renee. You also had, I want to say Shoshana Bean, I think. Yes.
Yeah.
And if you don't know who that is, guys, she's phenomenal too. She's a Broadway actress and she's phenomenal. She can sing. So yes. So how did that come into place? The Honest Answers with Terron Brooks. I
always wanted to do a podcast, and I just was lazy, and the technical thing scared me, and I was like, I don't know. So I think after the pandemic, a lot happened for me in the pandemic because it really shrunk time, and it really eradicated a lot of my excuses. Like I was like, you can't say you're busy because you're not busy. You're not doing anything, you know? So I was very, very creative in 2020, more than I thought I would be. So something happened. I always wanted to do this show. And the funny thing is, it was always called Honest Answers. And I even had a little poster that I made like years ago. So the poster that we use now is actually a hybrid of that same poster. So I'm telling people, you dream, you know, whatever you manifest or whatever you do, those things happen. And sometimes when they don't happen, it's just a timing thing. It's not like they're not going to happen. It's just the right time. And I truly believe that after the pandemic, because I could catch these guests because they weren't as busy, then the honest answers shifted from, we don't talk about what they do and all their resume and all that. We really talk about who they are. And I ask questions pertinent to them so the listener can get a deep, in-depth, like more than they've ever heard from their favorite person or one of the people that they're inspired by. And it was really, a lot of them, they were friends of mine, so it was easy to talk. So I think the timing of it just opened up the door for this. I hope people check out the pod. It's very special. We're going to do season 2 in October, but this first season is very, very vulnerable and people are in a different space. So to answer your question, yeah, it was always a thought that I want to do that. I mean, I think I would love to maybe have a talk show. I think that's where I'm kind of heading or leading. It's just to be able to. I like bringing out the best in others, highlighting, cheerleading for other people, and I like the lessons that we learn from each other if we're not afraid to tell the truth. Because if you're not afraid to tell the truth about your life and not just, oh, it's a Broadway, look at my post, you know, if you can tell the truth about the darkest times and how you overcame, that nugget is worth more than tell me what happened on tour and this and, you know. So I'm very pleased. And again, I'm doing something for people, but when I was on that phone call or whatever, that I learned so much from people that I respect too. So.
That's awesome. And so everybody, please check that out because you will learn something, like literally. And from time to time, he goes live on Instagram and you will, I mean, like literally, you will get a lot of helpful mantras, a lot of purposeful things, and very inspirational and faith-based. And I think you guys will like that. I like watching it. So, hey, so your sound and your influences. What is responsible? What would you, I guess, like deem to be responsible for that, for your sound? And who would you say influenced you?
Oh, so many. I mean, when I was first singing, it was always gospel music. That's all we could really hear in our house. So like the Winans and Commissioned and Clark Sisters and, you know, so that definitely is in there, that Winans sound. And then you know, Michael Jackson, of course, undeniably, when you hear me, sometimes he's just there, you know. Luther Vandross, Babyface is pretty huge. Babyface and Toni Braxton and Tracy Chapman, that kind of tone. I wouldn't say that one of these acrobatic riffers, but I do like to color a song with a lot of different ingredients. And if you hear Babyface sing or Toni Braxton or whatever, that they're very distinguished. You're like, that's them.
Yeah.
Brian McKnight. I mean, the list goes on. James Taylor. Just, it's kind of like a whole bunch of people that I really, really love. I love country music too. So I'm always trying to listen to new things. And be inspired, but it's taken me a while to answer your question, to try to find my sound. You know what I mean? When you're influenced by so much, you know, you're chasing after that and you're crafting that. But I think by this time, I think I have a certain sound of my own. It's soulful, soul pop is kind of what I call it. You know, probably more reminiscent to India.Arie. Like the way that she does her inspiration and her sound, she's probably the closest I can say that what we do. The Soul of Broadway is different. It's just reimagined Broadway songs from your favorite Broadway musicals. So you take one song that sounds like a Broadway musical and use soulful influences. And we were very rebellious about some of the songs. We changed them completely. It's like something's coming from West Side Story that's coming out. You're not going to recognize it at all. But that was fun, bringing those lyrics to a new audience. And as an artist, getting to recreate, how would I, you know, sing this, or was just a lot of fun, you know.
I definitely can, like, with your voice or whatnot, you definitely can distinguish your voice from other people. Like, that's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Just like how you're welcome. Just like how you name the ones that you know that's Babyface, you know that's Brian McKnight. I definitely can distinguish your voice. That's what makes the sound special. And a lot of people, like for instance, Elder Bard, you can definitely distinguish people like that. It's a special voice when you're able to sound a certain way and everybody can't mimic it.
Yeah.
So this question I ask everybody: top female and male vocals.
Top
who must be
of all time,
in your opinion? And you know, they don't have to be they can be in any order.
Ooh. This is funny because I have my own preference.
That's fine.
And I don't think you're asking that. I think Aretha Franklin. Is she just the best? So I'm going to say Aretha Franklin, even though I have some other people that I might like. But you can say that. You can say that because it's what you feel. It's what you think. I mean, Aretha Franklin. Who else?
Who are the other people?
I mean, I think Celine Dion can sing.
Yes.
So I'm sorry. That girl.
No, you don't need to be sorry. She can sing.
For male, I would probably like Luther, right?
Yes.
Luther.
Yes.
Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
You know, doesn't get Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye, that Smokey Rock, all that, those people. Whitney Houston. Come on, what am I? Whitney. You know. But you know, in that answer for me personally, they have to include people that move me. They can be the best because they sound and can do all the great things. But I think I gravitate to people that move me, you know. And I'm telling you right now, I can go on YouTube right now and find somebody I don't even know, and they can move me.
Yes.
And I'll be mesmerized for a whole week, you know, wondering who is this person, and you know. So they don't have to be famous, but
sure.
But Aretha Franklin and Stevie Wonder probably are the best, you know, because everything came from a prior thing, right? And
yes,
we have to respect.
Yes. Your screen's freeze. Your screen was freezing a little bit.
Still?
You're good now. Wave your hand and okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, you're good. So in terms of the songwriting process, like what does that consist of for you?
Well, most often it's an inspiration. I have to run from the car, get my phone because it downloads very fast. And I'm very quick at writing songs because of the inspiration that happens that make me go, I cannot stop. I have to finish it. That's really 90% of my style. Personally, I love people who work on songs for months and months and craft, and I don't really do that. But my new record that's coming out next year, I really spent time lyrically before we went to any production or music to write down a lot of things. That was kind of the first time that I had done that, where the results I think are different. I can tell that. I don't know if I should do that all the time. I don't want to make a blanket statement, but it's richer when you spend that time lyrically writing down all your thoughts, and then you're choosing the right things, as opposed to sometimes literally the song will come, I'll just start singing it, you know? So, but to answer your question, I have to be inspired by something. Something stops me in my tracks, and it's a thought. It's somebody said something. I saw something. Other music, like if I'm listening to the radio, you know, at the last 2 seconds of the song, I'm starting to sing something else, you know? So that's inspiring. So the process is usually not laborious for me. Like I don't work, I got to get this song, because I feel for me, that means that it wasn't there. Same thing when I get tracks from other producers. I always tell them, look, it's not personal. I have to feel it in the first 30 seconds. For me, it could be amazing for somebody else. So inspiration. And you asked earlier about the why, you know what I mean? I can write songs for my own gratification, or I can write songs to really inspire people. And I know how music influences me and how it influences people. When you hear that song, or it takes you to a certain time, or it heals you, and so if I'm going to do something, it needs to make a difference. A lot of times I'm trying to make a difference for a lot of other people. But honestly, when I hear the song or I have to sing the song, it's that gift again. I'm like, wow, this is something I learned, or this is something that I'm experiencing, and I have to sing this. And it really touches me as well. Amen.
And so, okay, collaboration wise, if you had the opportunity to collaborate with anybody musically or acting wise, who would those individuals be?
Babyface for sure. For sure. Because I think he would totally get me, because since I stole everything from him, you know, just, hey, Babyface, you know what I'm going to do. So I think that would be a great combination. John Mayer. I love John Mayer. Acting wise, anybody that would make me better, you know, that you want to share space with the greats, you know?
Yes.
Viola Davis, she comes to mind. Who else do I love? I don't know. I don't know if I ever really think about that. It's an interesting question. I think there's greatness in everybody, you know.
Mhm.
And I think sometimes our experience is to go for who's this person and who's
Mhm.
that celebrity and who, you know, and
Mhm.
looking for whoever it is, because you can definitely be disappointed by working with your
Mhm.
person, you know. But whoever I'm going to collaborate with, even with my collaborators for the records and things I do now,
Mhm.
whatever their status is, they give me the chance to be authentic.
Mhm.
And they give me the chance to feel what I want to feel without those parameters. And so you wonder, exclusive from Babyface, but when you start working with other people, hopefully they will be that gracious and that collaborative, like you're saying, but you don't know that. So you could be excited and walk in there and it's like a wall, you know, because
Mhm.
they've arrived and then depending on the work that you do on yourself, am I adjusting because I'm so nervous to work with these people and try to prove what I have for them
Mhm.
or not? So the best answer for me, as opposed to a person, would be an experience where there was collaboration flowing and there was a reciprocal respect. I think I could probably do my best work in that environment. And the Temptations, I'll go back to that. Although that was one of my first things,
Mhm.
I felt that with those brothers. I felt that even though I might not have known everything, and there was a respect there, like we got you. You know what I mean? Create, and we got you, and it'll be great. And so that helped me do the best job that I could. You know.
Gotcha. So I have a list of like songs that I would love to like see you do one day. Like I could see you doing Marvin Gaye, I Want You, if you haven't covered that before. Peebo Bryson, Can You Stop the Rain?
Ooh,
George Michael and Wham, Careless Whisper.
okay,
Um,
I've done that.
Everything That She Wants. Where Did Your Heart Go? Luther Vandross, Promise Me.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder, Love, Light, and Flight. These three words as
Love
um,
these three words,
yes. And people
so simple. These three words, short and kind.
that song is so
Oh, these three words. Love that song.
yes. And Smokey Robinson, Ooh, Baby Baby. Brian McKnight, Back at One. Andy Gibbs, Shadow Dancing. DeBarge, Who's Holding Donna Now. Sade, Stronger Than Pride. Debbie Gibson, Foolish Beat. New Kids on the Block, Please Don't Go Girl. Quincy Jones, Secret Garden. Michael Jackson, Lady in My Life. Baby Be Mine, Butterflies. Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? Foreigner, I Want to Know What Love Is.
I don't know.
Waiting for a Girl Like You. Elton John, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. Benny and the Jets. Frankie Valli, Begging. Kenny Loggins, Love Will Follow. Love Will Follow, yeah. Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Earth, Wind, and Fire, Keep Your Head Up to the Sky. Then John Lennon, Imagine. And then Prince, Beautiful Ones, Diamonds and Pearls. Carole King, Far Away. You Got a Friend. Gloria Estefan, When Words Get in the Way.
Ooh.
Phil Collins, Susudio, I'm sorry. And then The Air Tonight, One More Night, Barry Gibb, and Barbara Streisand, Guilty. Those are it.
And so I'm not going to bust you, but these are specific to me.
I mean, I think you could do a good job singing those.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, I'm saying you don't just have
most not even, I mean, I was just listening to. So what I do, I listen to people's like voice and like I kind of like match certain songs or whatnot, and I'm like, okay, I think that person could really do that song. I think that would be good.
You have to send me the list. I feel challenged. I don't know if I'll do all of them, but
Gotcha.
I tend to just do songs that I know. You know what I mean? And please send me that.
I mean, I definitely think you should do These Three Words. That was phenomenal. I was like, okay.
That record, man. That record. and I love Stevie Wonder's stuff, but that soundtrack from Jungle Fever,
Yes.
all of it, lighting up the candle, lighting up our love, we're lighting up the candle. I mean, that whole record. So send me that list, and I
will send it. Yes. And so we're at 45 minutes because I don't want to keep you too long because I don't want to get you in trouble. But thank you, Dustin, for setting this all up. And I thank you so much for taking time out. I appreciate it. And I definitely want to hear those songs. Like, I definitely feel like those will be phenomenal. Like, yeah, as well as your own work as well.
That's incredible. A lot of those I have covered, so you nailed them. And then some of those I had been thinking, just ooh, baby, baby. I heard that the other day, and I was like, I have never sang that song. So you were kind of right on it. So
thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, the Temptations, like, I guess, what was the one that you did? I'm trying to think the one that they did in Temptations. That was my favorite. Not Papa Was a Rolling Stone, but The Way You Do the Things You Do.
Yeah.
That one, or either Get Ready. I love that song. Me and my friend used to sing that all the time. Like, he's my brother from college.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing meeting you, and
thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on your show.
You are welcome. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And I wish you all the best of luck, because you're definitely going to go somewhere continuously. You're going to continue to go somewhere. And I can't wait to see one of your shows. So
yeah, I don't know where you
check that out.
I don't know where you live, but we're going to have a show in LA, a record release show in LA in September. So
okay, I'll be in LA in December.
Okay, well, we might have a Christmas show in December, so check out the website for that.
Okay, definitely. So thank you so much. And everybody, please tune in on Saturday for my special guest, Aretha Scruggs.
She's my friend. Hi, Aretha.
Oh my God. That's what's up.
She's incredible.
Yes, she is. She's my voice teacher too.
Okay, well, tell her I said hi.
We'll do. Well, thank you so much, everybody, and have a great one. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for watching. And again, on Saturday, make sure you tune in for my special guest, Aretha Scruggs. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening and stay safe.